Hello, and welcome to New Student Orientation, the PowerPoint presentation. My name is Leslie Martin, and I'm the Coordinator of Student Services for the college. On behalf of all of the faculty and staff at the Tennessee College of Applied Technology, Shelbyville, I wish to welcome you and thank you for choosing our institution for your workforce training. Please feel free to go ahead and click on the Welcome to TCAT Shelbyville video, or you may choose to view the video at the end of this PowerPoint presentation. It is important before we get started for you to understand where you can locate faculty and staff directory information as well as program information. On the home page of our institutional website, tcatshelbyville.edu, we have an About the TCAT tab that will house a directory information of all faculty and staff. We also have a Programs tab that you may click on. Once you click on the Programs tab, all of our program pages will load, and you can click on the program that you are enrolling into to read information specific to your program, as well as find instructor contact information and a PDF link that contains all of the information that you need in regards to books, supplies, and equipment that you need for your program. It is important for you to know that on January the 4th, 2021, you are expected to report to your program location. If you are enrolling into a full-time daytime program, you are required to be present by 7:45 a.m. on January the 4th, 2021. If you are attending a part-time evening program, then your course will start at 5:45 p.m. Please note the campus locations on the slide. I have the address there for you, as well as the telephone numbers of those locations that have numbers listed. TCAT Shelbyville is governed by the Tennessee Higher Education Commission. THEC oversees all public post-secondary education institutions within the state of Tennessee. Specifically, the Tennessee College of Applied Technology falls under the umbrella of the Tennessee Board of Regents. The Tennessee Board of Regents consists of 40 community and technical colleges across the state offering 400 plus programs of study. We are accredited by the Commission of the Council on Occupational Education. All year long, we work really hard to suffice 10 standards for the Commission, and at the end of the year, we produce program annual reports showing the number of individuals that started our program and completed our programs. We also break down these numbers by allocating the number of students that went to work in the field in which they studied, as well as earned licensure through the state of Tennessee. What is the purpose of the Tennessee College of Applied Technology Shelbyville? Well, we have a mission to provide an education for those who have the desire, need, and can benefit from the instructional experience provided. We have a major objective. We want to prepare or retain individuals for gainful employment, and we want to add to the skills and the knowledge of workers who are currently employed. It is not uncommon for an individual to receive communication from their workplace human resources that they need to continue their education and earn credential to move up the career ladder. You may very well have individuals in your program that are currently working already in the field of their choice, and they are attending TCAT Shelbyville to receive their credential. Let me say that if you have individuals in your program that are already working in the field, get to know these individuals, make friends with these individuals. Their experiences will help you in the long run. They may also be able to help refer you to a job upon completion of your training at the college. Equal Opportunity Non-Discrimination Policy and Title Statement. The Tennessee College of Applied Technology Shelbyville does not discriminate on the basis of race, color, religion, creed, ethnicity or national origin, sex, disability, age, status as a protected veteran, or any other class protected by federal or state laws and regulations and by Tennessee Board of Regents policies with respect to employment, programs, and activities. The following person has been designated to handle inquiries regarding non-discrimination policies. Michael Clouser, Vice President. Vice President Clouser's office is located at the main campus in Shelbyville. Feel free to contact Mr. Clouser in the event you were to feel that you were being discriminated against. Mr. Clouser's email is michael.clouser@tcatshelbyville.edu. Full-time daytime program and part-time evening program academic calendars for the spring 2021 term have been loaded to our website. I took the liberty of snipping some screenshots of the calendars so that you could view them now. If you will look at the calendar, you will see that January 4th designates the beginning of a trimester or term. Please be advised that we use the terms trimester and term interchangeably. For those of you attending a full-time daytime program, you can see that you've got several days off during the spring 2021 term. In January, you have the 18th off. In February, you have the 15th off. And then you will notice that in March, you have a week-long student holiday. In April, you can see that you have April the 2nd off. And then the end of the term will wrap up on April the 23rd. For those of you attending the part-time evening program, you too are expected to report to class on January 4th, the first day of the term. You have January the 18th off, March 8th, 9th, and 10th, and then your last day of evening program is April the 21st. Please be advised that these calendars are set in stone. Only in severe weather or school cancellations will we modify these calendars. Our accreditor requires that we have a certain number of training days in each term. So as you can see by the calendar, we do not have room to make up days if we are closed for a full day. Now, those of you that remember getting out for snow during high school, Let me tell you that those days are over. We are workforce development, so we emulate what the workforce does. We all know that places of employment do not always shut down when there's inclement weather. So if you're used to seeing your county school system close at the slightest drop of a flurry, don't be surprised when we choose not to close. In the event that we have to close because of snow or ice, we are required to make up those closure hours. So let's all pray and have best wishes for inclement weather to occur on the weekends so that it doesn't mess up our routine of attending college program courses. In the event of inclement weather, we will provide you a notice of closure or delay. How do we provide those notices? We place the content information on our college website, advertise on local television stations, radio stations, social media. Now, please note that I have a notation to not call the school. We simply do not have enough phone lines or staff to answer all calls that would occur in the event people were to decide to pick up the phone to see if we were open or closed. All the information will be made accessible to you through those outlets that are previously mentioned. We do try to make decisions early. For the daytime classes, we try to make those decisions around 5 a.m. and we try to make the decisions for evening closures by 2:30 p.m. Again, we do want to, keep in mind that some of you have to make arrangements, and we would hate for you to get started out on the road and then announce that we're going to be closed. So pay attention to the college website, social media outlets, and local television stations on notices of closure. Class schedule. Full-time daytime programs are scheduled for Monday through Friday from 7:45 a.m. until 2:15 p.m. Part-time evening programs are scheduled for Monday through Wednesday from 5:45 p.m. until 10 p.m. Part-time evening practical nursing cohorts meet Monday through Thursday from 3:30 p.m. until 9:30 p.m. until clinical practice begins. Prior to the beginning of clinical practice, an alternate schedule will be provided by the instructor. Program instructors will provide all students a schedule of break and lunch times. The Shelbyville main campus has a fully operating cafeteria that may be utilized, while other instructional centers have vending machines and microwaves. Student attendance. Please, please, please take note of our student attendance policy. Some would say that we are strict on attendance. I would argue that we are not strict, but that we are, again, emulating workforce. It is important that you have good attendance at school. In fact, when you do not have good attendance and you're missing class, you are missing out on a lot of content and knowledge-based information that is imperative for your training. We do say that a student who misses 3 consecutive days without contacting the college will be presumed to have withdrawn from the college and will be exited from the program by the instructor. You're going to have the contact information for your instructor, so you have no reason as to why you will not be able to contact your instructor if you're going to be late or if you're going to be absent. Think of your instructor as your supervisor at work. You wouldn't just miss work, right? you would call in to your supervisor and notify your supervisor of perhaps an emergency that has occurred, or if you have a sickness that will prevent you from attending class. Let's talk about tardies. A tardy is when you are not in the classroom at the designated time for class to start. Upon incurring 5 tardies, your instructor will issue a written warning. 6 tardies could mean that you are issued probation by the president or president's designee. Upon occurring 7 tardies, your instructor will refer you to the president and you may be suspended. Student attendance continued. A full-time student enrolled that has been absent for more than 9.7% of the scheduled hours enrolled will be suspended. So let's break this down. If you are a full-time student, this means that once you reach 42 absent hours, you will be referred for suspension. If you are a part-time evening program attendee, if you reach 17 hours of absenteeism, you will be suspended from your program. A student suspended for attendance may appeal the suspension in writing to the president within 3 days of receiving notification of the suspension. A student appealing suspension of attendance may remain in class until the suspension has been reviewed. Let me say this. If you are going to be out, you have notified your instructor. I would also provide documentation as to the absence. For an example, if you are missing class due to a legal matter or a doctor's appointment, you can certainly get those notes from courthouse administrative offices or the doctor's office. This documentation will be scanned to your student record, and President Monks will ask the Office of Student Services to provide any documentation that has been scanned to the student's record, and she will take these things into consideration prior to handing down a suspension or termination. So please, please, please remember to provide that documentation to the Office of Student Services as well as your instructor. Dress code. It is important that you dress with professionalism in mind. We have lots of visitors to our programs, so make sure that you are representing yourself and TCAT Shelbyville well at all times. I can't tell you the number of times that we have had industry partners visit looking to step into programs and interview students on the spot for jobs. We have had government officials, politicians, Tennessee Board of Regents representatives show up at our campuses unannounced. And let me tell you, making that first impression is something that you want to make sure that you do a great job of. You would not want a potential employer or someone to recommend you for a job to notice a shirt that is distasteful or to notice that you are wearing inappropriate clothing. So with that in mind, absolutely no wearing flip-flops, pajamas, shorts, short skirts, or tank tops. Program instructors with shop areas have established guidelines for safety measures, and you will be briefed on proper attire at the beginning of the term. So take what your instructor says seriously and to heart. Again, we have safety protocol and measures that we have to abide by to protect us all. Technology Foundations. Every program at TCATs across the state have course entitled Technology Foundations that is to be completed during their first term or trimester. The exception to this is those attending truck driving and practical nursing programs. The Technology Foundations course will be taught by Jennifer Wright, instructor, and this is included in your coursework during your regular school hours. The course covers the topics of workplace documents, reading, applied mathematics, and graphic literacy, critical thinking. The beginning of this course requires a pre-assessment. This pre-assessment will occur during your first or second week of school and will place you in your individualized placement level. Throughout the trimester, you will work through the program at your own pace. However, it must be completed before the end of the trimester. The course cumulates with a certification exam called the NCRC. For any questions regarding your Technology Foundations course, Ms. Jennifer Wright is at your service. Ms. Wright can be reached via email or by telephone. Her contact information is on the slide. Worker ethics and characteristics training. Business and industry leaders have identified essential work ethics that should be taught and practiced in order to develop a viable and effective workforce. Worker ethics and characteristics training topics included in your program curriculum consist of the following: attendance, character, teamwork, appearance, attitude, productivity, organizational skills, communication, cooperation, and respect. Please remember that you are graded on these areas and that you are expected to participate in any activities associated with these topics. Academic progression. A student must maintain a D or better average per course and a C or better average per term. Failure to maintain the required grade average will result in suspension at the end of the term. For allied health programs, those attending allied health programs are required to earn a C, which is an 80 or better average per course. Failure to maintain the required grade average will result in suspension at the end of the term. Grade scale. You can see the following grade scale that will be used to designate what you have earned per course exposure at the Tennessee College of Applied Technology, Shelbyville. A grade of A is designated as excellent. The numerical value scale is 94 to 100. For a B, or above average, the numerical value is 87 to 93. An 80 to 86 numerical value will be designated for those that have demonstrated an average C per course. Below average means that a student has earned a numerical value of 73 to 79 per course. An unacceptable below 73 numerical value is designated as an F. It is important that you strive to earn a minimum of C or better. Please keep in mind that we have employers that request transcripts of students and that the grade scale is reflected on your official college transcript. Use of technology. Computer systems may not be used without prior approval of the instructor and the TCAT Shelbyville IT department. Specific instructions for access to the internet and other networks will be provided by the TCAT Shelbyville IT department. Outside software may not be loaded on school-issued computers or laptops without prior approval from the instructor and the TCAT Shelbyville IT department. Changes to a system's configuration or setting is not allowed. Eating, drinking, and or vaping around school computers, laptops, and equipment is not acceptable. Creating, distributing, or accessing hate mail, pornographic or obscene material, discriminatory or harassing materials or communications is forbidden. Creating, distributing, or accessing confidential material, including but not limited to test files or student personnel records, is also forbidden. Any person violating the usage of technology policy is subject to appropriate disciplinary sanctions, including dismissal and or possible prosecution. Let me add that we have one of the best IT departments in the state of Tennessee. Many of our IT departmental staff serve on the Office of Homeland Security and are versed in training with local, state, and federal municipalities. Let me assure you that they are up and up on anyone who tries to access things that they are not supposed to be accessing. We do monitor all activities in relation to software, internet, and networks at the Tennessee College of Applied Technology. Please be mindful that the IT department will notify administration immediately if you are in violation. And again, action will take place. I would hate for any of you to be terminated from the college because you made a poor decision to not abide by the technology policy. All things student. Let's talk about several things that I consider all things student. Things that you need to know, things that are important, and things to ensure success at the college. The next several slides, we will discuss the student handbook, counseling services, FERPA, EverFi, training, student conduct, conflict resolution, organizations that you can be a part of, job placement, and how we can help you with job placement. Let's start with the student handbook. Student handbook is accessible on our college website. Once you access the home page of the website, you can click under current students and you can click on the red 2021 Student Catalog Handbook. Please note that if you wish to receive a printed copy of the handbook, you may make the request at the Office of Student Services. Counseling services. In the event that you have school problems, job concerns, financial woes, personal changes, family dilemmas, alcohol or drug addiction, and you need assistance with referrals to agencies to assist you with those matters, please come see me. I'm in the Office of Student Services at the main campus. You may also email me or place a telephone call to me. I'm happy to help and assist you with anything. It is my job to serve you, and it is my job to make sure that you are properly referred when need. Please be advised that if an instructor reaches out to you and pulls you into their office for a private conversation regarding issues or things that they are noticing, it is not because the instructor is trying to be nosy. It is because our instructors take personal interest in their students. They truly want the best for students, and they want you to be successful. In the event that you are facing a situation in which you need to take an official leave of absence from school, there are proper procedures and there is a form that must be completed. Please, please, please don't just stop attending school or don't reach out to your instructor or myself. Again, we are in the business of serving you, and we want to help you. We want you to be successful. We want to do all that we can to help you place your school on hold, and then we want to set you up for success for when you are able to return in the event you have an emergency or you have something occur that is going to prevent you from attending school. Anything that you bring to your instructor or to myself is confidential. I normally say this in person at the orientation sessions, but I'll say it here now on this recording. None of us have the perfect life. We are all faced with challenges and hard decisions that we often have to make. Please don't be ashamed to come to me and let me help you. I don't go home and share confidential information with my family. No offense, but again, we have our own issues. My husband and I both work in education, and confidentiality is part of our job. We do not share confidential things with each other. It's not my husband's business to address him with issues that are facing you as a student, and it's not any of my business for him to bring home issues that are occurring at his school. Again, we're in the business to serve you, and we want to make sure that we are helping you overcome anything that you are faced with. So please, please, please take me up on that offer. Let me see what I can do to help you. FERPA. A FERPA form may be requested from Ms. Brittany Holman in Student Services to authorize the release of personally identifiable student records, including but not limited to academic information, financial aid, disciplinary information, and student account records that are otherwise confidential pursuant to the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act and/or the Tennessee Open Records Act to designated persons. Individuals may review information related to the confidentiality of student records contained within Tennessee Board of Regents policy at policies.tbr.edu. Again, if you have a mom or dad that is requesting information in relation to the things mentioned in regards to FERPA, Ms. Brittany Holman in Student Services can provide you with a form that you may complete, and that form gives us permission to release that information to your parents. EverFi Title IX training for students. At the Tennessee College of Applied Technology Shelbyville, we believe in the importance of creating a safe and healthy environment for all of our community members. To that end, we have partnered with EverFi to provide sexual assault prevention training. The training, in addition to being highly interactive and engaging, is based in research around best practices for healthy communities. Completion of the EverFi course is required for all students at the Tennessee College of Applied Technology Shelbyville. Students will be notified through their campus email on when to complete their sexual assault prevention training. Student conduct. The TCAT Shelbyville student conduct policy is found on the institutional website. It is the responsibility of each student to review the student conduct policy. Upon a determination that a student has violated the student conduct policy as set forth in regulations of the General Policy on Student Conduct and Disciplinary Sanctions, the appropriate institutional officials may impose disciplinary sanctions either singly or in combination. The student conduct and disciplinary notice form shall be utilized to officially document violation of conduct. Violations of student conduct includes threatening or disruptive conduct, hazing that is defined in TCA 49-7-2123, disorderly conduct, obstruction of or interference with institutional activities or facilities, misuse of or damage to property, theft, misappropriation, or unauthorized sale of property, misuse of documents or identification cards, firearms and other dangerous weapons, explosives, fireworks, and flammable materials, alcoholic beverages, drugs, drug paraphernalia, public intoxication, gambling, financial irresponsibility, unacceptable conduct in disciplinary proceedings, failure to cooperate with institutional officials, violation of general policies, attempts, aiding and abetting, violations of state or federal laws, violation of imposed disciplinary sanction, sexual misconduct, harassment or retaliation, academic misconduct, unauthorized duplication or possession of keys, litter, pornography, abuse of computer resources and facilities, unauthorized access to institutional facilities and or grounds, providing false information, unauthorized surveillance, smoking violations, traffic and or parking violations. Conflict resolution. If conflict occurs, the conflict should be taken care of at the lowest level. How many of you have heard of the chain of command? Although this is a rhetorical question and you may be answering this question to yourself, we do realize that we don't always get along with everyone in our program. How many of you have ever worked alongside or attended a class with someone that you just didn't jive with? I know I have. However, it is our personal responsibility to conduct ourselves professionally and be respectful of everyone. We're not asking you to be best friends with everyone in your program. We are, however, expecting that you act like an adult, you treat everyone with professionalism, and that you are respectful. In the event that you have conflict with a classmate, you are to handle that on the lowest level and escalate it up the chain of command in the event you are unable to nip the situation in the bud. If you have a conflict with your classmate, use your voice and express to the classmate professionally and politely why you took offense to what the classmate said or did. If the classmate continues to make statements or have actions in which you do not appreciate, take it to the next level. Address it with your instructor. If the instructor is unable to rectify the situation, please come see me. I'm your student services coordinator, and I will work to resolve the issue. If you feel that I have not done all that I could have done, you may then escalate the situation to the vice president and the president. At the end of the day or week, if you feel that we have not all done all that we could have to rectify the situation, you may contact the Tennessee Board of Regents. This is something that does not occur a lot at TCAT Shelbyville. We are very blessed that most of our students are attending for all the right reasons. They have the desire to come in and study the curricula of their program, do all that the instructor is asking of them, conduct themselves in a manner in which is expected, and complete the program. It is very rare that we have conflict occur in any of our programs. Let's all do our part to ensure that we don't have any conflict within the spring 2021 term. After all, we're in the midst of a pandemic and unprecedented times, and we're all looking for normalcy, and we're all just looking to attend our program, learn the skill set and trade, and get credentialed to where we can become gainfully employed and work up the career ladder. So please, please, please take what I've said in consideration here and remember to follow the chain of command in the event conflict occurs. Next up, I have several organizations that I wish for you to take part of while you're enrolled at TCAT Shelbyville. The first one is the National Technical Honor Society. What is NTHS? Well, it's an honor society for outstanding career and technical students of workforce vocational education. NTHS is recognized amongst a multitude of institutions across the United States. Students are recommended by their instructor after they meet certain GPA and attendance criteria. Please also note that a student is required to demonstrate several characteristics. Now, some of these may look a little familiar to you, as we've already talked about worker ethics characteristics. But here are some things that you must possess in order to be recommended by your instructor for the National Technical Honor Society. The ability to follow directions, attend class regularly, safety conscientious, good teamwork skills, dependability, you have responsible behavior, you're honest, you have a positive attitude, leadership skills, you have good citizenship, and you have initiative. You have the drive. So make sure that you take advantage of being a part of the National Technical Honor Society. We normally conduct a formal ceremony. Ms. Holman in Student Services is the sponsor of NTHS. And, you know, we'd love more than nothing to be able to wrap that stole around your graduation regalia during our formal graduation exercises, representing that you are a member of the National Technical Honor Society. So do all that you can to meet the criteria for this organization. Looks very good on a resume for you to be able to put that you were part of the National Technical Honor Society at TCAT Shelbyville. The next thing that I want to discuss and talk about as an important sector of TCAT Shelbyville is the Student Government Association. We like to use a lot of acronyms at TCAT, and so one of the acronyms that you'll hear is SGA. We will be ramping up our SGA in the spring 2021 term. We'll be looking for new faculty sponsorship of the SGA. We'll be looking for enrollees into SGA as well as officers for the SGA. So the purpose of the SGA organization is to promote and maintain an active communication between the administration, faculty, and students. To supplement academic goals through the development of appropriate co-curricular programs, to aid in the social adjustment and maturation of students, to provide leadership training and the promotion of democratic action and ideals, to provide a medium for student expression to directly reflect student needs and interests in the promotion of campus activities, to offer services to college and community, to develop loyalty and enthusiasm for the Tennessee College of Applied Technology, Shelbyville. I really like to see involvement in SGA, and I love it when our officers put their minds together and get approval for fun activities for our student body throughout the terms. Some of the things that we've done in the past consist of, fun activity days, dunking booths. What's more fun than getting your instructor in a dunking booth, throwing that baseball as hard as you can and dunking them into ice cold water? I can't think of anything more fun. We also like to feed our students. We may have burger day, hot dog day. We may have ice cream. We'll call in a local vendor to come in and serve homemade ice cream to all of our students. Just other fun activities. Yes, it's important for us to spend our days learning things in our program curriculum, but it's also important to spread good morale and have fun occasionally, right? We all need a little fun in our life, and it's just really something to see, the break in the rigor of coursework, and for all to have fun, to take time out and participate in these activities that SGA promote and help provide for our students. So I'm looking forward to seeing what SGA comes up with for our spring term. And again, it's even more important after the year we've had with 2020 with the COVID pandemic. So please bring forth your ideas, be a part of SGA, and let's be involved so you can add that to your resume too. All right, Skills USA. Skills USA is an applied method of instruction for preparing America's high-performance workers in public career and technical programs. It provides quality education experiences for students in leadership, teamwork, citizenship, and character development. It builds and reinforces self-confidence, work attitudes, and communication skills. It emphasizes total quality at work, high ethical standards, superior work skills, lifelong education, and pride and dignity of work. Skills USA also promotes understanding of free enterprise system and involvement in community service. All students are enrolled into Skills USA at no cost. Students participate in various activities throughout the year, including leadership training, community service, and competition. At TCAT Shelbyville, we've had state and national award winners through Skills USA. When you enter the lobby of our main campus in Shelbyville, you're going to see those Skills USA banners hanging that demonstrate, professionalism and perfection of skill. And so I really do hope that you participate in Skills USA. Ask your instructor about Skills USA. Let them know that you want to become involved. Another thing that I like that Skills USA does, at state and nationals, there's a multitude of headhunters, if you will, employers there looking to interview students, students that are the best of the best, demonstrating skill set, and technology advancements, things that they have learned throughout the course of their study, things that they have modeled, things that they have created. And so, be a part of Skills USA, and let that help you make yourself more marketable when you are, completing that resume or you're applying for a job. Skills USA is nationally recognized, so these employers know what Skills USA is. So be a part of Skills USA, learn more about it, and, earn those medals in Skills USA. It's very important, and, it's a great organization to become involved in. All right, switching gears a little bit, job placement. Um, yes, an important thing for our students is job placement, right? We want you to successfully complete your program, earn all the credentials that you have the opportunity to throughout your program, and then we want you job placed, right? After all, we are making you job ready. We are TN trained. The TCAT Shelbyville offers a warranty that states that when you come through our programs and you successfully complete and you earn certificates and the highest level credential in the form of a diploma, we are guaranteeing that warranty that you are job ready. So with that being said, we are often called by industry and employers. Job placement is not guaranteed. You may be sent for interviews. However, it is up to you to get the job. How many of you get nervous when you are interviewing for a job? I know I do. I'm also nervous when I'm part of an interview panel and we're interviewing for, someone at the college, to take on the role of faculty or staff member. It's natural to be nervous about job placement, about interviewing. Um, you know, we can't attend these job interviews with our students. We can't go in and sell you for you. You have to learn how to sell yourself. And so you may be sitting there asking, well, how do I do that? So this next slide, talks a little bit more about that. In preparation for job placement, your instructor may speak with you about an opportunity for co-oping. And so what is a co-op? So a co-op means that you are still enrolled at the college in the program. However, you're out on the job. You're already earning pay. You have entered a cooperative agreement with that place of employment and with TCAT Shelbyville. So, this is an instructor referred. Not everyone is a candidate for co-op. If you're someone that has a poor attendance record and you're not doing very much in your program, then more than likely you're not going to be referred by your instructor for a co-op. The best of the best are referred by instructors for cooperative opportunities. Okay, another thing is resume development. Some of you probably worked on a resume while you were in high school. Some of you may have sought services within the community for resume development. Some of you may already have a resume that you feel confident in and that you are currently using. However, I would challenge you to seek assistance from staff and faculty members at the college to beef up that resume, if you will. Let us help you. Let us help you dictate on paper, your skill set. Let us help you market yourself on paper, put that resume together, so that you catch the eye or the attention of an employer when you submit that job application and resume. We've got plenty of people, consisting of your instructor, Miss Wright in Technology Foundations, myself, Miss Holman, and Miss Bree Lemons in the Office of Student Services. We also have a lady by the name of Amanda Ware, who has helped coordinate our evenings and sit at the front desk in the evenings. She too can assist you with resume development. Another thing that we all can assist you with is interview preparation. Remember I talked about the nervousness that you may feel when you're interviewing? That's natural, but we can help you with techniques that can mask that nervousness. We can help you prepare for those interviews. Interviews come in a lot of forms nowadays. Interviews can be in person. They can be virtual, they can be telephonic, and so let us help you with working on your interview preparation so that you come across as your best self. Let us prepare you for those interviews. Another thing that may be required for certain jobs is letters of recommendation. I often tell students that the person that knows you best at the college is your instructor. You spend a lot of time with your instructor. You get to know your instructor. Your instructor gets to know you. Your instructor takes a personal interest in your success. And so if an employer is requiring a letter of recommendation, it's going to be that instructor that you're going to need to ask for that letter of recommendation. And I want to caution you on asking for a letter of recommendation. If you're someone, again, that's sitting in that program not doing very much, you're not participating, you're not going above and beyond to learn and, show that you are there for all the right reasons, then more than likely your instructor is not going to want to write a letter of recommendation. So, be cautious of that. Be mindful that these instructors don't just hand out letters of recommendation to everyone. All right, and then, when you have earned credential in the form of a certificate or a diploma, we're going to make sure that you receive that credential on official college paper. And so Ms. Holman and I go through a process of auditing after a term is ended, and we're looking to make sure that you have made that academic progression and that you have, passed all the courses and that you have the GPA required to be issued a certificate at the end of the term if your program curriculum has a certificate at the end of the term. And so, you want to make sure that you protect your credential on paper. We do mail those out through the United States Postal Service. And then when we have our formal graduation ceremonies, typically at the end of the year in December, we provide you with a hardcover diploma. And so, you want to make sure that you have your credential And, a lot of times when you go in for interviews, you may take that credential with you and, let the employer view it. You may want to put these credentials in your portfolio, if you will, with all of your other certifications, whether they be from NCRC, ACT Work Keys, or national certifications that you've earned. You put all of that together in the form of a portfolio so that you have that and you can present that to employers. All right. Well, that wraps up this orientation session. By now, you should have a good idea of how we operate, what we expect of you as a student at TCAT Shelbyville. I have already emailed you information on how to, order your books through our bookstore, the SCC bookstore, housed at our main campus. You have the website at your fingertips to use for resources and seek out other information. And so now you are, ready. You're ready to start your education with TCAT Shelbyville. And so you want to make sure at this point that you are checking your campus email for communications from other representatives. You may very well have an email from your instructor. You may have an email from Miss Barnett in Student AR addressing your account balance. You may have an email from a representative of financial aid. And so you want to make sure, again, that you are checking your campus email on a regular basis between now and the start of the term. And so we look forward to seeing you on January 4th, which is the first day of the spring term. And thank you again for taking the time to view this and, accepting my voice for what it is. I have been under the weather the past couple of weeks, and so I apologize if I don't sound as clear, or you're having a hard time with my accent. And so just thank you again for tolerating this. We're looking forward to 2021. We're looking forward to easing out of this pandemic, having more face-to-face contact with our students. And, we just want to be mindful that in the event we're faced with more staggering COVID numbers, we may have to make a decision to enter a hybrid form of learning, and that may consist of, meeting in person on certain days and then doing virtual learning. However you attend, though, I want to, ensure that you are going to receive the same type of education that you would without a pandemic going on. We are going to work hard and do our very best to make sure that you have all the exposure that you need for your program, and we're going to be right there with you along the way. And so with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and conclude this. If you have any questions or if there's anything that I can assist you with, please come see me on day 1, January 4th, or if you're attending another instructional center, I'm just a phone call or email away. And so again, thank you, and looking forward to seeing you all in the new year and at the start of our term on January 4th. Hope you all have a safe and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Thanks again.